Hey everyone, it's your girl Marquisa, and I just want to take a moment and say thank you, thank you for coming back faithfully week after week. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to come here and be with your girl. So let's get into it. True Moments with Kisa, and that's where we bring my old blogs to life. And let's go into it. This week we'll be hitting on stolen moments. All right, let's do it. I can't breathe. It's the middle of the day, but everything seems dark. All four walls are caving in, and all I can hear is, I want to play too. This wasn't a game anyone would jump up with joy to play. At this very moment, my innocence was stolen. What was a 5-year-old to do? You push it in the back of your mind. When fairy tales and daydreams become nightmares. I wish I was watching a movie, but no. This was real life. It had to be my fault. I held on to that guilt for years. You play the moment back only when necessary. It's always loud, but still a quiet moment when anything of this sort is happening. I just want to taste you. Why? I don't want to play anymore. With a house full of people, when you're in a room with the door shut, you'll be surprised at the perceived distance. Not one situation, but two. What was an 8-year-old to do? It definitely had to be my fault. So while everyone is caught up in the moment of increasing their butt size, you can now understand why it took me so long for me to love myself. Excuse me if I'm always smiling. I've overcome more things in my life than just a divorce. Pieces were taken and could never be given back. What do you do now? How do you move forward? My toughest battles in life, I fought when I had no fight in me. Things were just taken, so if you catch me smiling, know I'm an overcomer. Where I messed up, and we all tend to mess up, is by giving another human being authority over my life. You should never dictate my happiness. You can be a bonus, but the reason I live, nah. You become strong for everyone else around you. I'm okay. I was a shield for my siblings. I was put here to protect them, and it was at whatever cost. Now tell that little girl to go watch the Disney Channel and believe what she sees. More to put in the back of my mind. Push, Marquisa. Move forward. Life goes on. I rarely shared what I've been through. When I did share, I gave you some power. If giving that piece of my life story, I felt you were obligated to make sure you didn't hurt me. That was foolish of me. How could I want someone that didn't care about themselves to care about me? I was better off on someone's couch or with my Bible. Well, I can't say. Not too many people understand you can't sell a broken child a dream. You knew what you seen on TV was just actors, so TV shows, movies, and all that good stuff never really moved me. My life may not be all glitz and gold, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. If you wonder why I'm so close to my son, now you know. I get asked a lot, why do you take him everywhere? Well, from experience, it's within the blink of an eye or right under your nose that things can happen. God gave me my battle because he knew I was strong enough to bear it. My story one day would be the story to save one's life, or just show another it's okay to let go and let God. Moving on is a decision one has to make, and it's only for the better. Woo! Wow. Okay, so where was I mentally when that was written? Okay, well, just off the top of my head, I know for a fact, I think I was in a place of proving myself innocent. Yeah. And when I say proving myself innocent, because people would try to assassinate your character, like, oh man, I did this because she did that. I did this because she did that. No, you did that stuff because you wanted to do it. So stop right there. But I stayed because I didn't know better. I didn't know my worth. I didn't love me enough to know that I deserved way better than you. And off the strength of what I've been through, how somebody that been through that stuff really gonna know their worth? Especially without getting the proper help. See, we always want to say in a relationship, oh, don't move on to another relationship till you're over that relationship. But the truth is, you don't need to really go into another relationship till you really deal with your shit. Like, all that mess. Trauma. I mean, there's this, what, I forgot, it's like a questionnaire. It's like 10 questions. And it basically like sees the level of trauma of what you've been through. And I think I was able to say yes to at least, if it was 10 questions, like 7 or 8. And I remember at that time, my boyfriend, did the questionnaire for him and he could say yes to 3. So my life experiences versus his life experiences as far as trauma, to me, I felt like, I mean, come on now, I was a lot to deal with. And so from this moment, I really wanted to prove to people that that dude could say whatever the heck he want to say, but I knew I was a good person. And the stuff I've been through, had I known better, I would have did better, because the truth is, if in relationships and I didn't tell everybody what I had been through, and it wasn't fair to even tell those people, because you don't know what they've been through, you don't know what they can handle, you don't know if you're about to trigger them. And so for me, if it's like, if I told you that and you want to come around and still play with me, you a selfish person. Like, you nasty. Like, you not worth me. I mean, come on. Anybody that would put somebody through more stuff, like, sometimes it gotta be more than just looks. Like, if you want to be with somebody, like, damn, she bad, like, I want her, or da-da-da, oh my gosh, we look great together, we look like this amazing power couple, but then you want to put more onto what they've been through. Like, if you know you don't mean me no good, just bye, leave. Like, and it's like, well, if you could tell them to leave, why don't you leave? I seem to be able to deal with a lot for a lot of years and not say nothing and do nothing, break myself down until I feel like I can just finally walk away. But my past shows you that I can endure trauma for a long time. So I, at this point, just wanted to prove myself. And my blog was just to say, I've been through this, and it's other people I know that's been through stuff like this. And so when we deal with other stuff, that seems minor compared to the other things. And I know, like, talking about to date also, I remember they getting ready to go to Washington for my son, and we had to go to the parent-teacher meeting for, you know, they had to all 5th grade. And I went to Washington, okay? I went to Washington. It was a great experience with the school. Nothing happened to me while in Washington. But I don't know if I was too comfortable with Sincere going to Washington without mommy being chaperone. So the trip is now not $500 like it used to be back in the day. It's $1,000 per person. And I am not ashamed to say, do I have $2,000 to fork out like that so I could be chaperone for Sincere to go to Washington? No, not comfortably, but guess what? I would have paid it. I would have made sure he went, because, baby, you're not going to Washington without mommy. You just not. And so in the meeting, I remember they said, parents, we love your children just as much as you do. We have Band-Aids. Wait. Band-Aids? What I'm worried about, Band-Aids cannot fix. Band-Aids can't do nothing for it. So Sincere wasn't able to go to Washington. I'm sorry. Yeah, this parent's still dealing with stuff. Like, you don't know how you're gonna react with certain situations until you face it. I remember I had a dream, and I felt like God brought that dream to me, and it was just like this song on how to protect our kids from, you know, the signs. And I was like, you know what, God, thank you. I see you working, because at the end of the day, the stuff I've been through will be a tool. It's gonna be a book. I'm gonna get that song drawn up. But how are we gonna prevent it from happening to somebody else? How do we get our kids to speak up sooner, if it does happen, to get them help sooner? Because the sooner you get help, the better. And I probably wouldn't even be writing this blog if I got help before. Who knows? But I don't take back anything I've been through, because I would never want my story to be rewritten, because it had to be rewritten. I don't feel like I would have my precious gift on this earth was just sincere. So I hope this could help somebody. I know it definitely is helping me. When I read it, I'm like, dang, you said all that? I know I told my mom, I was like, Mommy, I'm gonna write a book, because that's the hardest person for me to talk about it. I was like, Mommy, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna talk about what I've been through. And I know I can't really talk to you about it, but I can talk to anybody about it, you know? And she was like, I understand. And I can't wait to complete that project, because I know the letter I wrote to her, I can't wait to maybe even build the strength to read it to her, or just see her reaction when she reads it. A post that I seen on Instagram yesterday, and I knew would be useful because I knew this blog would be coming up one day. I just didn't know which day or week it would be. So just get into it. It says, forgive yourself for not knowing better at the time. Forgive yourself for giving away your power. Forgive yourself for past behaviors. Forgive yourself for the survivor patterns and traits you picked up while enduring trauma. Forgive yourself for being who you needed to be. Because I know if not for anything, we gonna go through some things. We gonna do some things. I mean, some people I see on social media, like, I'm like, damn, that girl screaming for help. But I mean, she might be out there putting herself like she just look like she just out there, or she has no problem with, you know, being the sideline. And it's so many different instances, not even those little two things I said, but she might look like the biggest hoe. And trust me when I tell you, I'm like, dang, this girl screaming for help. And I kid you not, I've seen people put after the fact, like, I've been raped, I've been this. And the sooner you can get help, the sooner you'll be better for yourself, society, your family, your friends. Because other than that, it's like a lot of people be on the road to destruction. Some people, you know, handle it different, and some people just really, if I could just reach out, grab them, hug them, pull them in, and just change all that, I would. But it's just not that easy for a lot of people, because we don't even know while we're doing the things that we're doing that it's a reflection of something from the past.